Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to LP Tremors, where we talk all things vinyl and horror. And I am so freaking stoked. I am here to discuss and give a full review of the brand new studio release record from the man himself, Mr. Buddy Guy, entitled The Blues Don't Lie. So, this is Buddy Guy's 34th release studio record. And, yeah, but what else can be said? Buddy fucking Guy is back. 86 years old. I don't know if he's 86 or he's 27 because he still sounds fresher than ever. I actually just saw him, what was it, a couple months ago, and my god, he blew me away. First time seeing him live, and it's probably not going to be the last time because Buddy Guy he's still going strong, still going hard, still sounds fresh to this day. Wow, Buddy Guy. He's back, baby. So I've mentioned on multiple occasions, Buddy Guy, he will always be near and dear to my heart. I've mentioned that, it's safe to say that Buddy Guy is my personal gateway into blues. I wouldn't be talking about blues if it wasn't for this guy. The first blues record I've ever bought was the record that came out just before this in 2018, The Blues Is Alive and Well. Man, ever since I picked up that record, I've been on a huge Buddy Guy kick. But not only Buddy Guy, that record really opened me up to guys like B.B. King, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, Freddie King, Albert King, Bo Diddley, list goes on and on. So yeah, it's really safe to say that Buddy Guy is definitely my gateway into blues. But not only that, he still remains, till this day, my favorite bluesman of all time, and definitely one of my favorite guitarists, and definitely one of my favorite singers of all time. Buddy Guy can really do no wrong, and still to this day at 86 years old. So yeah, Buddy Guy, he's back with The Blues Don't Lie. And also, with Buddy Guy, Tom Hambridge is back producing this record. And if you know Buddy Guy, you probably know that Tom Hambridge, you definitely know that name if you know Buddy Guy, but Tom Hambridge has been working with Buddy Guy for a very, very long time. Not only as a producer, but as a drummer as well for Buddy. And Tom Hambridge, everything he touches is magic. Definitely one of my favorite producers of all time. And he really did no wrong on this record. No surprise here because the mix and production on this record is absolutely stellar and definitely probably one of the best sounding records of 2022. And this record sounds phenomenal thanks to Tom Hambridge. Really no surprise. And also not really surprised to Buddy Guy. You do see a few guest appearances on this record. So you have Mavis Staples on here, you have Elvis Costello, you have James Taylor, Bobby Rush, Jason Isbell, and Wendy Moten. So all of them have guest appearances on this record, on background vocals and as just full-on singing a verse or two, whatever, so on and so forth. And definitely just sharing vocals with Buddy Guy. I'll be getting into them as I start getting into the tracks on this record. But yeah, you have 16 tracks off this record. And I'm just going to say right now, you are not going to hear anything negative from this record. At least from me. Because I think this record it's absolutely phenomenal. Is it better than The Blues Is Alive and Well? I really can't say, just because that record is very near and dear to my heart for reasons I explained earlier. That record will always be near and dear to my heart, so I really can't say that this record is better, but this is a damn good fucking record. Again, Buddy Guy, he really can't do no wrong. His worst record is probably another 4 out of 5, to be honest. But yeah, so if you picked up this record, this vinyl record, or if you picked it up on CD, you are welcomed by the beautiful face of Buddy Guy on the album cover. It also opens up with a nice portrait of the man himself. And on the back, you see the very famous polka dot guitar along with Buddy's hands. So, really good artwork. I really can't say anything negative about the artwork. Really cool stuff. But, let's get into the tracks. So, this record opens up with Let My Guitar Do the Talking. And this is a very interesting opener for Buddy. Mainly because if you've listened to his past 2 records, I already mentioned The Blues Is Alive and Well, but also 2015's Born to Play Guitar. If you've listened to those 2 records, you probably know that the opening tracks for those 2 records, they're very moody, and Buddy Guy, they're kind of very reflection based. Buddy Guy really talks about his life. You have the title track Born to Play Guitar, and then you have you have a few good years off of the Blues is Live and Well. Both very moody tracks and very reflection based off of for Buddy. This record, while Let My Guitar Do the Talking, is very reflection based. You know, Buddy Guy talks about how he got into guitar, how he got into music, how he got on the scene. But Buddy Guy really this is a very energetic track for Buddy. You know, there's really nothing moody about it. It just kicks you in the ass. It's very energetic, a very funky track too. And I'm gonna get into the funk more once I start getting into more of the tracks off this record because honestly, there's a lot of soul and funk influence on this record, which is really cool. I'll get into that later, but yeah, this is just a very energetic, funky blues number. Fuck me, I'm just gonna hold this. But yeah, this is just a very nice funky move. I really like the rhythm section off of Let My Guitar Do the Talking. You know, and that's really thanks to Tom Hainbridge. You know, he's drumming on this record as well. Absolutely nailing it. So the rhythm section, I really can't do any wrong. Yes, but yeah, Buddy Guy, you still hear those signature guitar tones. A lot of wah pedals on this track as well, which is really cool to hear. But yeah, that's a little bit of Let My Guitar Do the Talking. Just a nice, funky blues number. Really cool stuff. I'm just gonna try to leave this on here just because it looks cooler. But yeah, that's Let My Guitar Do the Talking. You have the title track, Blues Don't Lie, to follow up that track. And now we're getting back into Moody. This is another very interesting track because it's very. I kind of want to say it's a very dark track. And it's very dark. It's a little depressing, but I love the lyrics on this track. They're very meaningful. You get a lot of soul influence on this track as well. And I love the backing tracks. The backing tracks really make this track a lot. But yeah, you have fantastic lyrics, just very moody and a very smooth number throughout. And it's honestly one of my favorite tracks off this record. So yeah, that's a little bit of the title track, The Blues Don't Lie. Really awesome track. But then you get into tracks like The World Needs Love. Another, I can see the same thing, just copy and paste. It's a very just very moody. It's a very moody track. He's really getting into you know, world issues, and it's the title speaks for itself. The World Needs Love. Very moody, very bluesy. It's just a great track. I really can't say anything wrong about it. But yeah, that's a little bit of World Needs Love. You also got We Go Back. Now, this is the first track to feature, well, the only track to feature Mavis Staples. So the first track to feature guest appearance. And I really like this track a lot. This was actually a single off of this record, The Blues Don't Lie. So yeah, We Go Back. This is another single, like I said, but this is a fantastic track as well. It stays moody, just like the past two tracks. But I love Mavis Staples' vocals on here. You know, she really fits perfectly on this record. And if you're a blues fan, you definitely know the name Mavis Staples. She's a blues giant. You know that signature, almost a little kind of like a raspy voice. Really cool stuff, but she fits perfectly off of this record. But yeah, it sends chills up your spine, man. Like I really can't describe it. So that's a little bit of We Go Back. But yeah, she fits extremely well, and it's just a chill track. So these three tracks, the title track Blues Don't Lie, World Needs Love, and We Go Back, those three tracks really set up the moody tone off this record. You know, it kicks you in the ass with Let My Guitar Do the Talking, but then it just kind of gets slower and it has a little moody tone, which is really cool. So it's a very, very roller coaster ride of a record. It goes up and it goes down, goes up, goes down. But I really do really appreciate these tracks. It's coming off to a really, really strong start. Now it goes into the Elvis Costello track, Symptom of Love. Now this track, I can honestly say might be the weakest point off this record, but that doesn't really take anything off this record. Because I still can have a lot of fun with this track. I just don't find anything too interesting on this track, to be honest with you. I really like the riff. I'll say that about this track. I really like the riff. You know, it opens up with a nice kind of like a dark, rusty riff. It's very hard sounding. But yeah, it's just a track that kind of comes and goes. Really, nothing special here. I don't think Elvis Costello. I'm not a big Elvis Costello fan, so I'm really the wrong person to talk about this particular track. But yeah, it's kind of there. It comes and goes. I don't mind this track. I just don't find it very memorable, at least for me, at least. But then you have the James Taylor track, "Follow the Money," and "Follow the Money." It it kind of carries on with the tone of Symptom of Love. But this track, it's like there's a little bit of a, it's kind of like a country twang to it. There's a little like a twang to this particular track. It's definitely a fun track. I do really like this track, but it does you don't really hear much of difference between Symptom of Love and Follow the Money. These are the two probably weakest points off the record. Really nothing to take away because I think these two tracks are fine, but it's just you just kicked off with four bangers of tracks. So you're gonna have a couple weak points here and there, but those two weak points, in my opinion, are Follow That Money and Symptom of Love. But overall, still fine tracks. They come and they go. You have Well Enough Alone to follow this record. It's a very funky track, and this is an interesting track because it's just it's very unpredictable. So once you listen to this track, it kind of reminds you of Muddy Waters' Folk Singer, where it's kind of like it's very acoustic driven, and you hear Muddy's signature vocals. But it's a very laid back record, right? Well Enough Alone, it starts off like that, but obviously Buddy Guy singing. But it starts off, Buddy Guy with his acoustic, and jamming along for the first, I don't know, 20 seconds maybe. Then you hear this blistering riff, and the song just goes and nails it. It's just a funky blues number, and I love this track a lot. It's such a badass track. Once that song picks up, it picks up, man. I love this track to death. So, yeah, I mean, you have a couple weak points with Symptom of Love and Follow That Money, but man, it just nails it with Well Enough Alone. Great, great track. And then you have the track following it with What's Wrong With That? Now this is featuring Bobby Rush, so we're back with guest appearances. Now this track, this is probably the most fun you're gonna have with this record because it's just so cheesy. The lyrics are just I can't even describe the lyrics. I love the chemistry between Bobby Rush and Buddy Guy. That it really makes the record. You're gonna laugh your ass off once you start listening to this record. They talk about how they like their chicken, how they like their woman, how they like their steak. It's so fucking cheesy, but it's genius. I love this track a lot. It's gonna put a smile on your face. It's fun. It's energetic. It's very funky. This is probably the funkiest track you're gonna hear off this record. So yeah, it's really capturing that little funk vibe. I really like this track a lot. It's a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorites just because of that. It's so cheesy. It's so fucking cheesy. It's for a lot of people, it's probably gonna be either you love it or you hate it. I'm gonna love it. You're gonna be on board. You're just gonna have to listen to this track. The lyrics just make the whole track. But yeah. So now, if you have the vinyl version, this is a double LP. So this is going off with side 3. So this is gonna kick off side 3, and you have Jason Isbell's track with Gunsmoke Blues. So Gunsmoke Blues. Now this is another single off this record. You have We Go Back and this track Gunsmoke Blues. I believe this was actually the first single for this record, actually. So Gunsmoke Blues. This, in my opinion, and I said this about Blues Online, I said this about the track that came before this, but Gunsmoke Blues is, in fact, my favorite track off this record. And this track really gets you in your feels. This is probably the best lyrics off of this record. The songwriting, Buddy absolutely nails it because Gunsmoke Blues, it's such a meaningful track. Talks about a lot of world issues that we're dealing with today. I'm not going to go into, what this song is talking about. It's just a track you're just going to have to listen to for yourself. But really, it's very meaningful. It's a very, very slow, very moody track. And it's very, very depressing. I'll say this right now. It is very depressing. But it's a song that had to be said. And it's definitely my favorite track off this record. I love this track. It sent chills up my spine immediately. Even sent a tear to my eye because just the message of this particular track, it's going to get you in your feels. I'm going to tell you right now. And Jason Isbell, I think his vocals are outstanding on this track as well. And I don't know, what else can be said about this track? It's very meaningful, very dark, very moody. And it's just, I can't really say it's a fun track because it is very dark, very depressing, but it's a track that needed to be said, and I love this track a lot. So yeah, that's a little bit of Gunsmoke Blues. Very bluesy, very moody. It's a great track. Then you get into House Party, and this is the last guest appearance track. This is with Wendy Moten, and this is back to fun. So we're we felt dark, we felt depressed a little bit, but Buddy picked you right back up with House Party, and this is just another fun track. And Wendy's vocals are outstanding. I feel like I'm just copy and pasting everything, but this track it's a whole lot of fun. Still very funky. When these tracks are fun, they're just very funky. You know, there's just a very funk edge to them. Still very bluesy, and you still hear those signature, Buddy Guy licks. The Buddy Guy licks we love. Buddy Guy, his vocals are outstanding front to back. And with House Party, it just continues that. It's just a fun time. It's a fun track. What else can be said? So that's a little bit of House Party. Then it goes off with Sweet Thing. So Sweet Thing, you got like this it's a little bit of a jazzy feel. It's going back to a little moody, a little bit slow. Not I shouldn't say it's slow, but it's just a nice little jazzy. You can dance to it. I'll just put it like that. You can dance to it. Yeah, it's just a nice little jazzy feel. It's a good track. It's probably not the most memorable track off this record. I definitely like it a lot better than Symptom of Love and Follow That Money. But it is, I guess you can call it kind of a weak point, but it's really not a weak point because you can still have a lot of fun with this track. Very jazzy and very bluesy. You're going to have a good time with it. But then it goes into Backdoor Scratching. So Backdoor Scratching, it has this dirty solo. I love Buddy Guy's solo off this track. But yeah, copy and paste everything I said about House Party. Copy and paste everything I said about Let My Guitar Do the Talking. It's just a fun track. It's a really, really fun track. It's but Backdoor Scratching. It's very funky. I know I keep saying funky, funky, funky. As you can tell, there are a lot of funk influences off this record. But yeah, a lot of fun. Fun track. You got into I've Got a Feeling. So, we have 3 more tracks here. So, I've Got a Feeling. It kind of continues what Sweet Thing was giving off. Nice little jazzy feel. It touches on the moody side a little bit, but I think what Sweet Thing was doing, I think I've Got a Feeling does it a little bit better. A little bit more memorable. Buddy Guy, it's just a fine Buddy Guy track. It's a nice jazzy feel. It's a great blues number. It's just back to moody. There's a really nice piano riff throughout this particular track, and just a fun, nice track. Then you got Last Call, and Last Call it's back to fun. So this is a track I really thought of as like that Buddy Guy should play, as he's closing out the night during his set, because it really gives off that last call. Like he's talking about last call. Let me finish up my whiskey, and it's this really good way to end the night. But it doesn't end the night as in like, okay, good night. It's just an energetic good night. This is the last call. Let me finish up my whiskey. It's just brings you back up. It's just a fun track. This is a really fun album. I really can't stress enough how fun this record is. It's just a roller coaster, right? So yeah, Last Call, another fun track and a great way to not only end the night but end this record as well. But it does not end the record because we have one more track, and that is actually a Muddy Waters cover. You have I'm a King Bee on here. So King Bee. Now this is something you could have easily taken off Folk Singer. And Folk Singer, for anybody who doesn't know, and why I keep bringing up Folk Singer, because Buddy Guy actually plays on Folk Singer with Muddy Waters, just in case you didn't know. But so Folk Singer, it gives you a lot of. You could have easily picked this track off of Folk Singer, but it's not on Folk Singer. It is by Muddy Waters though. But Buddy Guy does a fantastic cover of this track, and it's very stripped down. It's just there's really nothing going on in the background. It's just Buddy Guy with an acoustic. Ending the night. I think it's a very short track. I think it's 2 minutes 30 seconds, something like that. But yeah, this track just kind of it comes and it goes, and it is a solid way to end this record, The Blues Don't Lie. So yeah, that's a little taste of what the tracks are all about. All in all, this is a fantastic record. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this record, but not only fun, it's really gonna get you in your feels as well. So yeah, that's really all. That's my 50 cents on The Blues Don't Lie. Definitely pick this up if you haven't already, because it's definitely worth the buy. I'm giving this record a 9 out of 10. And it's a fantastic record. You have a couple very tiny negatives with tracks like Symptom of Love and Follow That Money, but I shouldn't really say negatives because they're still tracks you can have fun with, you can have a good time with. They're just tracks I don't find too memorable, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's but if those two tracks are your weakest points, you have a damn good record. Another fantastic release. What else can be said? And is it really surprised? We already know. As soon as this record was announced, we knew this was gonna be a banger of a record. It's Buddy fucking Guy. I I can't wait till I see him next and he starts playing a few of these tracks live. I really hope he does because I would love to hear these live. Another fantastic record. As I said, I'm not sure if it is better than The Blues is Alive and Well, just because I have so much, I guess you can call it nostalgia, and so much love for that particular album for reasons I explained. But think of it as a fucking awesome record. It's a roller coaster ride. It gets you in your feels, and then it gets funky again, it gets fun, and it goes back and forth like that. Fantastic record. What else can be said? The Blues don't lie. The Blues definitely didn't fucking lie off this record. So there you go. That is my full review of Buddy Guy's The Blues Don't Lie. I really hope you enjoy this. I had an absolute blast talking about this record. Yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. If you haven't heard this record, are you looking forward to it? Are you not? Do you think I'm full of shit and think this record is absolute donkey balls? Or do you think this album is absolutely genius, as I've mentioned multiple times? But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this record. Look very forward to reading those. Um, I'm not going to talk to you like you're 5. You see the like button. You see the subscribe button. Do whatever the fuck you want. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. What more coming on to the channel? I do have the Friday the 13th series. We're going to be talking about the 5th movie, The New Beginning. That's going to be on Friday, so 3 days from now, with my buddies Ron Gavalier and Davey Gallagher. So they're going to be joining me once again, continuing that franchise, or that series. What else? Feeling the Monday Blues. I've taken a little break from Feeling the Monday Blues, but don't worry, it's coming back. I haven't forgotten about you guys. But yeah, other than that, watch out for more music shit, more horror shit in the very near future. All right, so that's basically all I got for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this content. I know I can be a cringy asshole at times, so I can. So thank you for sticking with me, and as always, stay metal, stay scared. Bye, guys.